Good evening, everybody, and welcome to WCFL DolFans Talk. Hope everyone's having a wonderful night tonight. It's a chilly one here in Brookville. Going to be down to 32 in the morning. Let me go ahead and bring on my co-host, starting off with Mr. Johnny O.
What's up, Pop Paul? How are you, brother?
Doing good, doing good.
How's the cold weather down there in Florida?
Chilly. Not as cold as you are, but it's cold enough, more than cold enough for me and our next co-host, Miss Pamela Carnes.
What's up, Miss Pam? How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm so happy to be with you guys. See you guys. Some of my favorite dudes.
Hey, we haven't seen you in a while.
I seen her on Twitter a couple of times.
I had a couple things to say.
Wasn't physically seeing her, just hearing her.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had a couple things to say for sure. I know that y'all are shocked by that.
Hey, that's what we do. I want to talk about it. Get your feelings out. Let it be known.
Get my feelings out.
Let's you start off, Miss Pam. Let's hear what you got to say.
Well, so like all of my Dolphin family, I'm more than just a little disappointed about this season. I was disappointed by a lot of things on the game on Sunday. I didn't for 1 second think that we should lose to the Jesters. I hated the big deal that the NFL made over Aaron Rodgers because we all know who and what he is. And, I don't know who's going to want him after you get your coach and your GM fired. Who's going to want to risk it? But, I've seen crazier things happen. But that game was upsetting. It was a terrible way to end a season that should have been so much better. I'm disappointed in hearing that, we're supposedly keeping Greer. I think, we should walk away from that mistake. It's like hitting yourself in the head with a hammer and thinking, gee, I'll do it again. And anyways, I feel like I'm in good company of a lot of disappointed fans. I'm hoping, I see my grandkids. I picked up two of my grandsons today from school, and they're both donning all their Dolphin stuff. And they're so cute and so invested. And I wanted more for them from this season. And I didn't have a lot nice to say about the Dolphins when I picked them up. So I tried not to say too much at all.
Well, I'm going to go over a list that Johnny had sent me. Expiring contracts with Miami players. And we'll go over them one at a time and say we could care less or we want them back. Quarterback Tyler Huntley.
Don't care.
Don't care.
Yep, me neither.
I like his intensity. I think he tried hard. It's not that I dislike the guy, but he's not enough. Sorry, he's not enough.
Yeah.
Well, we've said it many times, and I say it all the time. He's a different quarterback than Tua, and if you don't change the playbook for the guy coming in, he can't play the way he plays, and he does not play the way Tua does. So,
right.
If you're looking for a backup to back up Tua that's more like him, then Skyler definitely isn't it.
And neither is Huntley.
Nope.
Neither is Huntley. Exactly. Agreed, John.
Running back Jeff Wilson Jr.
Don't care.
I kind of think the few opportunities that he had were like I think he's a good player. If it's going to cost a bunch of money, no. I don't know necessarily.
Derek, what's up, brother? Miss Pam, that's Derek. That's one of our newest members that's jumping on all the time.
Nice.
Love this sound.
Hello, Derek. But so I I don't. I mean, I guess I could go either way with Wilson.
Derek, if you have no sound, you're probably going to have to go out and come back.
No sound at all.
Yeah.
The main part is that you can see me. That's all that really matters.
Next, wide receiver Braxton Berrios, who's been out all year.
Don't
I could care less.
Yeah, I always love me some Berrios.
We have Washington in his place basically now.
Yep.
And Washington has looked really good. I think he's kind of exciting. And, you know, Braxton being out all season, I didn't care for the way he ran back, you know, kickoffs and things. I thought he could have done more. I think he's a valuable player, but I would take Washington over Berrios at this point.
You there, Derek?
Yeah, sorry about that. Had a little malfunction here.
There you go. You're good.
No problem. No problem. We're just going over contracts that are expired and whether we care or care less.
Yeah, I seen you say about. I heard Pamela. Nice to meet you, Pamela.
Nice to meet you.
Heard you talking about Braxton Berrios. I just caught the edge of that there.
Yeah. Next is River Craycraft.
I care.
That one I'm like middle of the road because I don't think they've ever given him enough of a fair shot.
Especially this year.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean they barely used him this year, but you had him under contract, and I just don't understand that. And so that one I'm kind of like middle of the road on.
Yeah.
I'd like to see if we could get him a little bit more, like a little bit above minimum. Put him in a slot. Before we got Tyreek and stuff, he did make some catches for us.
Well, that's why I think we're kind of in the middle of the road. Whether we care, we somewhat care. Would like to have him back in a way.
Right.
And I think he comes up clutch in a lot of situations, and I like River, and I'm more than middle of the road for me. I'm like more on the let's keep him, and I agree with Derek. If we're gonna keep him under contract, let's give him some work.
Yeah. Next one is wide receiver D. Eskridge.
That's got to be a practice squad player, so don't care.
Don't care.
He played one or two games. He was out there because I remember his name being called when he caught the ball and stuff. So, but it's not anyone special. It was fourth string receiver, Now, I'm not sure. I don't know the correct terminology of how to explain what they are. All the ones I've talked about so far are all unrestricted free agents.
Mm-hmm.
What does restricted or exclusive rights mean?
That means Miami has the first right to re-sign him.
Or to reject.
Or if somebody else offers him a contract, they can reject and not sign him. Or match what the other team is offering them.
Okay.
And if they're high enough value, right? If they're projected high, when we get a compensation pick or whatever, or something like that down the line, depending on what
Well, wide receiver Anthony Scorch is restricted. He's next.
Don't care.
I don't even really know the name.
I've heard it a time or two, and that's it.
Now, the next one we have exclusive rights, and that's wide receiver Grant Dubose.
That one's a tough one because Dubose didn't do much. His most famous part of the year, unfortunately, is being hurt and laying on the field. And Miami is known to give guys second chances after they've been injured during a game. So that one, I'm middle of the road. If they re-sign him, it's not going to be for a ton. So.
Yeah, it's not going to hurt anything to re-sign him. I think also he did make some good plays and stuff. And when we need him.
Yeah, during the year he had a few plays, but nothing that you're going to jump out and say, "Wow, we need to keep this guy."
Yeah, Mr. Winters, thank you for joining us.
Hey, Dolphin
What's
winner.
up, brothers? How y'all doing, man?
Where's what's up, brother? Don't forget your
Hello, my
sister.
friend. Do you see
I'm
my
good. Oh
heart?
my God! Wait. Who is that? Wait. Where did that voice come from?
I know, right?
Happy New Year, sweetheart. How are you?
Hello, my love. Hello.
It is so good to hear your voice, hon. I hope all is well with you and your family. Definitely. And hello to everybody on the panel and to the couple people that's watching us right now. You know, first thing first, I want to say before we really talk about anything, I want to send my thoughts and prayers to the people of Los Angeles that are affected by the storms right now, or the fires.
Gosh.
It's devastating on what they're going through right now. And I've seen some videos that have been posted all over. So, you know, definitely my thoughts and prayers are with those people because, I mean, they've lost almost everything.
Oh,
And
I got it on TV right now. I'm watching it, and some of them have lost everything: houses, cars, all their possessions, everything. And it's over 10,000 acres, and it's still at 0% contained.
Yeah,
my.
that's the scary part.
Jorge Callis, Cap for Life. Music is my life. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, that part, man. It's just sad. It's really sad, and you know, oh man, you know. So
Right now,
That's
winners,
horrible.
we've been going over the whether we care if we lose these people that have their contracts are expired.
man, fuck the whole team. Get rid of it and get a whole new team. Fuck it. Let's just fuck it. That's a whole new
Tell me
team.
what you really think, Dolphin winners.
I mean, I'll listen to you. You know what I mean? But the way I look at things is this. And I think the last thing they said, I think I read an article today stating in a couple weeks they'll figure out what they're gonna do with Tyreek or how serious he is about his comments and stuff. This is a team sport. Not one person is the team. And until you got Tyreek and these Ramsey and these people that got their money, they got extensions this past summer, they got paid, and you both say one said it on camera and one said it off camera. They both want to go. You got paid. It didn't work out. You're not bigger than the team. Period.
I don't think they'll go anywhere. He was just being a crybaby. He wanted that 1,000 yards, and he just two of them let him down. I mean, I understand, but you can't quit on your team. But
when you go out in the fourth quarter, when you go out of a game and you check yourself out of a game yourself without any injuries or just I'm done, bro. You think you're bigger than the team, and we don't need that.
right,
No.
Then the next day he's putting on X. Come shop at my Adventure Mall. Come buy my gear, and then somebody posted the stuff. Why would I buy your gear or something like that when you quit on the team?
Absolutely,
it was great.
Yo, absolutely, Derek. I seen that post too.
This would have never happened if Coach McDaniel wasn't so soft on the players, wanted to be their best friends, and now he's in the middle of the road. I think he's almost lost a team. Your captains were showing up late, and they were finding these guys got plenty of money. $50,000, these guys is absolutely nothing. Now, has he lost a team? You need somebody like Campbell or so, and I think Sealer needs to be a captain to right the ship. What do you do now?
Well, so say it again for the people in the back, Derek. Because seriously, this is on the coach, the lack of discipline, what this team is put the fans through. Like I'm tired of the people that are controlling what's going on because they don't know what they're doing. And it's clear to me we have way too much talent to allow the last two seasons to look like they've looked. And I put it on coach and his lack of discipline. And it's okay if that's not you, but find somebody who is. If you can't handle the team, go get somebody who can to handle that part. You being
Wait,
the genius.
wait. We did have a coach that fucking put foot in asses, and that was Brian Flores. And players were bitching and complaining about his style of coaching. Guess what? Suck it up,
Agreed.
Buttercup. I would rather have a coach that's a hard-nosed son of a bitch than a
Yep.
soft-ass motherfucker like fucking McDaniel. And I don't care. I'm sorry. We need somebody that's gonna be fucking disciplined and start disciplining these fucking people. Me and Johnny, all right, Derek. Me and Johnny had this conversation a few episodes ago, earlier in the season, and we talked about how the players love McDaniel and they didn't like Flores because Flores is more old school and McDaniel wanted to be your fucking friend.
Yep.
I'm not here to be your fucking friend. I'm here to win a championship like you fucking guys are. That's what it comes down to.
It was just way too soft. Flores was just way too far aggressive. You can't hate your coach, but you need to be strict at the same time. You got to find that balance.
Well, I think what you're looking for, Derek, is you can't hate your coach, but you got to respect him.
Yep.
And
They sure in hell didn't respect him, and you can
no,
tell.
because if guys are showing up for meetings late and getting fined and not worrying about it because it's $50, $100, they don't give a shit. They're making millions. You know, they have no respect for the coach or their teammates.
Right.
Or their teammates.
If you're showing up late for
tough.
meetings, you're telling your teammates, hey, my time's more important than yours. You can go through it and I'll show up whenever the hell I feel like. Now, I want to go back to what Winters says because I kind of agree, but I don't. And I said this to Papa Paul and Pam before we jumped on. If Tyreek went in that fourth quarter Sunday and blew his knee out and was gone for the first 9-10 months of next season, everybody would have been bitching. Why was he in there when the game didn't matter? We couldn't make the playoffs. You know, Denver was already killing Kansas City. He shouldn't have been in there, just like we all said it when Chubb was in the Baltimore game down by 30. And he blows his knee out and he hasn't been back. If that happened to Hill, we'd have all been crying. Why was Hill in there in the fourth quarter? The game didn't mean anything. Even if we won, it didn't mean anything. So, you know, you got to be careful when you're talking about this stuff because we all said it when Chubb got hurt, every one of us. Why was he in that game? And I was at that game. And he blew his knee out, and it was a non-contact. He just stepped and boom, and his knee went out. And it was right on the sideline where I was sitting, and I was like, oh, shit. If that had happened to Hill in MetLife on that nasty turf, and we knew that he blew his knee out and he's going to be gone the next 8, 9, 10 months, we'd have all been crying, why was he in there?
But we was in the same sense, though. In the same sense, Johnny, I understand what you're saying. But we were getting blown out by 30 fucking points against Baltimore. We were still within scoring distance of winning the game, and we needed him in there. I get what you're saying, but we were still within 7 to 10 points of still winning the game. Now, if you're getting blown out by 30, that's different. But if it's within 7 to 10, and we still need you to play, you still need to play. I get what you're saying.
I want to give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt just because he played injured all year. That's a slight little bit I want to give the benefit of the doubt. But, you know, a lot of people want to compare him to the guy of the 49ers. I think it's a whole different situation. We need to be inside to see what's actually going on. But all this stuff would have never happened if McDaniels would have grabbed himself by the balls and was being decent about it. You know what I mean? You got to be stern. You got to be stern. He wanted to be their buddies, and now it's blown up in his face. And the captains, everybody were doing what they wanted. It all started by him. And then Greer should have stepped in, but Greer didn't want to micromanage McDaniels. And that's what I said. Is next season going to be? How's he? You can't just come now and be a total jerk and be like, you know, super stern because they're just going to quit on him then again. And then he's going to get fired. And then we're going to be all upset and frustrated that we wasted a whole nother season. And then we're going to go back 3 to 5 more seasons.
Well, the problem with a lot of that is that McDaniel didn't learn. This isn't season 1. It's not season 2. It's season 3. And you kept on doing what you were doing. When it didn't work, when the only time that everybody was all on the same page is when we're blowing out some horrible team, I'm sorry. We should be blowing out great teams. We have the talent to do it. There's no excuse for continuing to do what wasn't working. And everybody is telling him it's not like they don't know what the fans are saying or, you know, I'm sitting on my couch and I can see what's wrong. Why can't you see what's wrong? You're getting paid to know what's wrong and to fix it. So I'm just thinking that, like you were just saying, Derek, it's like kind of too late. Like what in the heck do you think you're going to do now? You can't come in like a prickly pear, and then, oh, they're all going to hate you. And one of the things that I hate the most is the young players that are looking at this, and they're looking at Tyreek Hill, who's making the money. They're looking at what Tua did, making the money. You got Wright, and you got who am I trying to think of? Why can't I think of his
You
name?
got Chop, you got Wright.
Washington.
Yeah, I mean, you got quite a few young guys.
Right. These super young players who, when I look at them, they are working hard, but they're not getting a great example. And the few examples that were on our team, I mean, Calais Campbell, God love him. He has the best attitude. Are they going to look at him and be like him, or are they going to be like these other guys? I think it's hard to be like Calais Campbell when these other guys are getting away with being crap and making all the money.
Right. The only way McDaniels is going to be able to save it, I think, if he has like a pyramid, he's at the top and then puts this stuff on somebody else, or you bring back Campbell and Armstead, let them take the force, pay them, let them deal with it. But do they want to deal with it? It's tough now. I mean, it's in a bad situation right now. So which way is it going to go? You're going to find out. Like I said, I've already called it. If it goes bad, we go 1-3, 1-4. He's gone. Our season's over. You're going to find out in the first 2 to 3 games whether he's got it or he's not. And then I just hope and pray that we can get it right. Because I do like McDaniel, but he needs to change some stuff up. I'm just hoping and praying that we can make this happen because I do not want to set ourselves back.
Yep. What's up, Mr. Polk?
Hey, Mr. Polk.
Hey, Mr. Polk.
What's up, Mr. Polk?
My brother. Good to see you.
Hi, buddy.
Hey, good afternoon. Let me see. Can y'all hear me?
We can hear
Yeah, we
you.
can hear you, man. We can hear you.
No, just want to make sure because I've been having internet interruptions so throughout the day. So. But good afternoon, Papa Paul, my sister Pamela. I haven't seen you in a while. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you. Dolphin winners, Johnny O, and Derek. It's good to see you again, my brother.
Good to see you too, my man.
McDaniels, the only way he's going to solve this, and we said it last year that we thought he was starting to lose the locker room. Things were getting a little, and then this year you could see it more. Now you hear right after the last game that guys are showing up late for meetings. They're coming in whenever they want. The only way he fixes this is, come the first mini camps, whether they're voluntary or involuntary, and he starts setting rules and say, guys, this is what it's going to be. And if you can't follow it, don't bother being here because we can trade you, we can cut you. And he's going to have to make an example out of somebody. It won't be one of the high price guys, but he's going to have to take something. You keep showing up late meetings, we cut you, go sign with another team. He got too soft. He does have to harden up. Do I want a Brian Flores? No. But he's got to find that in between of being their buddy and being their friend and a likable coach and, a player's coach and getting to the point where you got respect and guys want to go out and play for you, but play for each other. To me, when especially the older guys, when the older guys aren't showing up to meetings on time, and whether they're a captain or just an older guy, you're just showing your entire coaching staff and team disrespect.
Yep. And that's one of the things, about, not showing your teammates respect. I mean, I get it. The coach isn't doing things to earn it, but how do you just thumb your nose at your teammates? I don't get it.
I'll say this, and Johnny, I agree to disagree with what you're saying. Everybody's fucking accountable. Everybody. I don't give a fuck if you're making $100 million or not. If you show up 2 minutes late or a minute late, go home. I'm going to sit there and show you
that. That I agree. I'm saying cutting somebody. He's going to have to.
Oh, no. All right, so my whole thing on that is this. If it gets so detrimental, so where you feel like you just can do whatever the fuck you want because we're paying you this amount or your team is paying you that amount, then we're gonna have to pull Greer and and we're gonna have to figure something out because apparently you think that you're better than the team. I don't care how much we're paying you. This is a team sport, and if you can't follow the rules, you will be. We can make sure we can sit there and find another place for you to go play, and we can sit there and do what we need to do. Because, at the end of the day, no one is bigger than the team. Period.
There's got to
I
be
don't
something in the
100%.
contracts. There's got to be something in the contracts to where they always have a safety net. They're corporate. They know what they're doing. You know, I honestly think Hill's going to lose a little bit of his money behind the scenes. I think they're going to pull something, you know, to show something. But
Oh no, there is something in his contract where they could actually take money back from this year because he didn't play in the fourth quarter, and if he refused to
some next
go in just because he didn't want to play, there's actually money they can recuperate.
And they need to do
they
it.
could pull his guarantee. They could pull his guarantee here for the 25 season, 24-25. I mean, do they do it? No, I don't think so. Just because he played injured, but
If they don't do it, they're crazy.
You give in to him, then it's still leave. Well,
Yes.
give a little slap on the wrist. It'd be the same as a fine. That's why they pay them the big bucks.
Yeah, they're the ones that word the contracts and go through everything. And like I said, with the Hill situation, I'm not mad because, like I said, if he went out there and on that turf, that horrible turf at MetLife, and blew a knee out and was gone for the next 10 months or all of next year, everybody be crying, why was he in there? How come he was playing? The game didn't matter. We couldn't make the playoffs. So
I'll say this overall on the whole situation. I want to thank all the players because we talked about this, Johnny O. We talked about how some of these players don't play through injuries and stuff like that. I have to give Hill this credit because Hill he had a arthroscopic knee surgery that we didn't know about. We don't know what happened through the incidents with the cops. So he might have had ligament damage. He got got the handcuffs put on him. Like, we don't know. We don't know that man's body. So I have to applaud him playing injured, probably playing through pain that we don't know. But to take yourself out the fourth quarter is a no-no. And I understand that field is the worst field since Veteran Stadium's field. Trust and believe. I get it. And I don't want to see nobody blow out of me either. But to pull yourself out of the game out of frustration is different. And that's the thing. So he should have some type of some way, shape, or form. You should get some type of fine or penalty.
Well, Dolphin winners, let me ask you a question. Have you ever gone to work hurting?
Yes.
I've gone to work hurting. I did my job anyway. I taught dance and I had a cast on my leg. I mean, come on. And I made next to nothing. Go to work, suck it up, buttercup, like you said earlier. Come on. I'm not thanking them for doing their job because they're in some pain. For God's sake, you're a man. You're playing football. You're making a ton of money. You got people counting on you. And you're going to act, oh, I played injured. Well, excuse me. The whole world goes to work injured. The whole world hurts. Come on. I'm not feeling sorry for them.
My very last call out of my job was January 31st, 2021, the day my stepfather passed. That was the last time I called out. It'll be 4 years and a couple weeks that I've worked straight through. So when I tell people I work hard, I play hard, I mean I work hard, I play hard. So I get what everybody's saying, and I don't want to see any players get injured. I don't.
No.
But there's a way of doing things. Pulling yourself out the game. You kind of somewhat did a semi-Antonio Brown. And that's not fucking cool. That's not fucking cool, man.
And it's not.
Like, so I get the frustration. I get all that. I do. But the goal, he didn't want to talk to the media, but they forced him to talk to the media, and you already knew that he was already pissed off about the loss. But at the end of the day, bro, this ain't the first time you've been saying about putting a little encrypted messages on Twitter and all that, and getting the fans riled up. Is that
come on, grow up, dude. You make big boy money. Act like a big boy.
Like,
come
my problem with that
the more careless they get.
Yes.
See, the thing that gets me is this, guys and ladies. You have young children look up to you. It doesn't matter if they're Dolphin fans or not. You have kids that look up to you. And if they start seeing these athletes like himself and others do this type of stuff, then where are we going to go? Where are we going here? Like, what are we doing?
Right.
They're going to start doing this. They're going to start doing this in college. They're going to start doing this in high school. Like, what are we doing? Because it's a team sport.
With Hill being arrested, you know what I mean? Whether it was right or wrong, It's still law enforcement. The cops know that he was a celebrity. Could they made it better? Could they handle the situation? Both of them could have handled it better ways. But now you
Yes.
just leave a negative, stuff on Hill, who has a lot of kids following. I mean, a lot. It don't even have to be Dolphins fans.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then bad press all in general. And then I just want to know why we have so many injured guys. And just thinking the last 10 years, we've had so many injured guys. Why are we not revamping our strength and conditioning coaches and stuff?
Oh my gosh, I've been saying that for 5 years.
Wait,
Oh my gosh, that has been my
You still
for
say that all the
5 years.
time.
Right.
Oh my Lord, that is so. And
But
if
I
you
think
look at Calais Campbell. Look
Mhm.
at what
got the
that
right
man
team.
does.
He's
He
got the
eats right. He works out right. He's older than all those guys, and he's fierce. He's
Mhm.
fierce. What are we doing in the? Oh my gosh! I can't believe you said that, Derek. I've been screaming
what
from the
Rick did.
rooftops for years.
Like, I mean, I go to the gym and stuff, and one time I used to bench over 400 pounds. Like, it's not how to take care of your body, but like,
Facts.
I know how to take care of my body, and I ain't got near the money that these guys can spend on conditioning. And I sure don't eat right because I'm a big man. But I like to do. I gotta go to the gym to work it off. But it's like, what was the Steeler guy that was a linebacker? He took when they played Arizona, he took it back to the house. I'm trying to think of. I read out a lot of stuff for him, like his.
Harrison.
Yeah,
Oh my God, that's a monster. He's a
he
monster.
put over $300,000 a year out of his own pocket to condition himself.
He's a monster.
Still looks like he does.
Polamalu?
No, Palomar was a
Harrison.
safety.
Talking about Harrison.
Yeah, the linebacker, 50 something.
That dude's he's just a freak of nature.
Well, Calais does that. He spends over $250,000 a year to have people fly in and take care of him and cook his meals, and he does all kinds of stuff. He's spending good money to make sure he's healthy. And look at the guy, 17 years in the league, and he's still playing like he's a kid.
And that is part of your job. I'm sorry, if you play a sport for a living, staying healthy and keeping your body right is part of your job.
Right.
It's not our job to, I mean, it's not my job anymore, but
I mean, they got to be
but,
watching these guys at some point, because, even when you go from high school to a D1 school, they're feeding you, they're telling you what to eat, when you're going to eat, and everything. Why are we not doing that? I mean, I don't think we're not doing it now in this level, but we just need to jump on the same thing. We need to be like, Clay, who is doing your stuff? Let's bring them in. Like, we just
you know what, Derek?
I said that a couple
Derek,
weeks
wait a
ago,
minute, Derek. You say you work out, Derek, right?
Yeah.
You just got people that are more dedicated than others. That's just what it comes down to. You just really got more. You just got certain people that are dedicated to nutrition and health more than others. So it really is a mindset. You got the guys that's going to want to go to the club. They work out when they want to work out. They do, and they just got natural abilities. Like people like ourselves, we got to bust our ass, do those extra push-ups, do those extra lunges, do those extra. We got to start from the bottom and work our way up, and we got to make sure, as we're older now, make sure we stretch like shit. Because if you don't, you're gonna pull or tear something. So so that's what it usually is. I know, as just me, because I work out here and there too.
Right.
I know when I was working out on a regular basis, I was warming up. People were like, how do you stay in the gym for 4 hours? Because you're working certain body parts. You got to sit there and breathe correctly. You got to stretch. If you mess around and try to take a shortcut, you're going to tear something. And I don't want to tear no muscles. I don't want to do none of that, because that's worse than a bone break.
And warming up and cooling down are part of that, and it all takes time. It's not something you go in and I know y'all don't know about this, but I know about this. You go in any ballet class and you look at a professional ballet dancer, you see an athlete, whether it's a male or a female. Those are athletes that are like zero body fat. They are so strong and powerful. Every ballet class starts with plies, and you go to a bar and you're at the bar, BARRE, for an hour or more. Then you go through the hard class, and then you go through a cool down. If you want to be athletic and be performance driven, you have to take care of your tool, which is your body. And these guys are not not doing that, and it's being left to them. And I think, like Renegade said, I swear, I think it's been close to 20 years we've had the same guy.
Yes,
Gotta be.
You know?
honestly, it
I brought
is
that question
Sam.
up before.
Sam, he is the longest tenured coach on the Miami
Yes, he
Dolphins.
is.
Yep.
He's
Yeah.
been there since 2006.
But you got to remember, the NFL is a microcosm of what we live in real life. You have some people that are more dedicated than others. You have some people that are just more naturally gifted at something and they use that to their advantage. You got some that work harder to get to that point. The NFL is no different than the real world. It's just, it's on TV. We talk about it. Social media is there. So it's no different than real life. And the other point I want to make is, you guys said it, talking about Hill the last week. Well, Hill kind of bookend the season, got himself in trouble week 1 and got himself in trouble week 18 with his mouth. So first week was speeding to the stadium and and not cooperating, and then the last week was opening his mouth. He didn't want to go out there. They badgered him. They made him, and he said stuff he shouldn't have said. And then he gets in a meeting on Monday with the GM and the coach and says nothing about wanting a trade. So.
Well, in the microcosm of the real world, that is such a true statement. And it goes along with what Winters was saying, too, about kids looking at these people and thinking that you sign a contract, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, what you do as long as you are happy. It doesn't matter. That's what these guys are teaching people, and it's a reflection of what's going on in the world for sure. But the point with this, taking care of your body, that whole thing, it matters. Teams don't have 3 and 4 players depth that can step up and help a team to win. So it's important that these guys that are first string and even second string are in the best of shape. And our team is not paying attention to that. We're always racked with injuries. And I don't want to see, Renegade also brought up about Achan, being out there, they're pounding him like a sledgehammer. And he's not a sledgehammer. But Brooks was a sledgehammer. And we should have kept Brooks. We should have kept Brooks, and Achan I love. I love that we have him still. I'm not saying get rid of him, but he's not a sledgehammer.
Right.
Well, as of right now, our depth chart at running back will be Achan, Jalen Wright, and will be Jeff Wilson.
Jeff Wilson.
No, Wilson's a free agent.
Free agent. So right now, the only running backs that we know of right now will be Achan and Jalen Wright.
No, I think Mostert's still got one more year on his contract.
I think Mostert's done. I think Moster's done. Yeah.
He's really dropped off this season.
Yeah, I think
he had a couple fumbles and they stopped using him.
Also with Jeff Wilson, he's familiar with the playbook, so they may try to bring him back. Because I'm gonna tell you the truth, he's a big back that you can that we should try to hold on to. Now I want to say something about Tyreek Hill. I wish he can really take a look and go back and look at how should I put it? The Honey Badger Matthews. Y'all remember him?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You remember how he was when he was in college? That guy did a 360 as far as his personality go. He was he was big headed. He was a troublemaker. And when he came to the NFL, he brought some of that with him. And then he did a change. He did a 360 and change. And I can give that guy kudos because he's even going as far right now. I don't know if I think he's still in NFL.
A Super Bowl ring will do that. He was. I think he's on the Chiefs, if I'm correct.
Right, and he's going out now and touring, giving advice to the younger generation, showing them how he started and how you can turn your life around. So I kind of wish Hill can. I'm not saying Hill is the same as Matthew. That they're two different people, but I wish Hill can kind of look back at that guy's career and do a little turnaround with his career.
Nah, listen, Hill is Hill. Hill ended up on the Dolphins because he went to Kansas City and said he wanted a new contract. And if they couldn't give him a contract, trade him. And he didn't think they were going to trade him. He thought they were just going to give him money. And then the next thing you know, they trade him to Miami. He said that in an interview. He did not think Kansas City was going to trade him.
He was shocked.
because he overvalued himself. He overvalued his position on that team. And that's what he thinks he is more important than the team. His attitude, the
No,
young man needs to learn some humility. I
no.
mean,
See, the problem with the NFL is there's no salary structure. You just have a salary cap. So
yeah,
every guy is going to try to get as much money as they can.
of course.
Yeah, they need to get that bag right
So,
away.
so I don't think it's a Tyreek Hill problem. It's an NFL problem.
Yeah,
Of
And
course.
the reason why, and I second with Johnny with that is when you have top 5 wide receiver in the game, he's still a top 5 wide receiver in the game. Even with the stats that he has, he is still a dangerous player, and he can still
He is.
make a complete change at any game at any given time. Even though that he's pushing 30, he's still that dangerous. He still can run that 4.4, 4.5, 4.6 speed. He's still that guy. What it is when you have people at that upper echelon, they are going to feel that they are, because of all the promotion, all the notoriety, all the popularity, they are going to look. This is, you know who I am, because that's what they're gonna say. You know who I am.
right.
I know what I can do, and we all know from the time that we all watch football all the way to the current day. You cannot tell me that the wide receiver position ain't a diva position, because it always
Absolutely,
has,
always
and it
has
always
been.
will
Yeah.
be.
Right.
Okay,
And
even some of your greatest. I mean, listen, we have seen. I know in my lifetime, I know Paul and Johnny. No disrespect. Y'all older than I am. Y'all can remember more guys back in the day. But when I was growing up, I was looking at the guys from Philly, because I was a kid looking at Philly guys, and then I didn't get to the Dolphins until I was a teenager. So you had the Mike Quicks here and all that stuff. I didn't start seeing flamboyant wide receivers until your Michael Irvins, and like when you start seeing your Deion Sanders, which I still think Deion is one of the best to ever play the game. Jerry Rice was the most humble, but the GOAT.
Very
Like this
humble.
man, I consider Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice honestly was like the Tim Duncan before Tim Duncan. You get what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
He would go out there, you would talk shit to him, he would just look at you and we would burn you. And you'd be wondering, how is this man burning you? And then you would watch his workout and you're like, holy shit. Like this man actually caught
Yes.
bricks. He didn't
Yes.
catch a football. His father used to throw bricks at him and he had to catch the bricks. And you tell me, like, you got to be the man to just sit there and catch bricks. And I mean, we ain't talking about 10. We're not talking about 20. We're talking about hundreds of bricks. So to get to that, like for a person to do that, and he was never as arrogant as cocky like a Terrell Owens or any of these guys. You just got guys that when they know their talent, they know how good they are, whatever, they are going to be or have a diva type mentality because they feel sweetness as well. Sweetness was another one.
Oh,
Right.
yes.
I wanna
But
pick- I
I'm
wanna
telling you
piggyback on-
that humility is why we're still talking about Jerry Rice.
Right.
You know what I mean? The humility, because if you're big headed, it's hard to catch footballs. I'm telling you, your
That's
head
true.
gets in the way.
That's true.
Right.
I'm
That's true.
just telling you,
But I
it's
all that
physically
stuff-
hard.
He'll let all that stuff
I'm gonna-
start everything off at the beginning of the season with all the negative stuff, and then just started getting worse. And then outside noise started bringing it in. And when you got all out, when you're listening to all the outside stuff and causing issues, you can't focus on what you're being paid to do. And another thing is, I don't know why is the Dolphins not putting bonuses in for strength and health right away? They may be for some, because back in the day, you used to be able to see all the stuff. They'd give bonuses for this and that, for strength, and showing up for stuff. We need to do something for our injuries. We need to figure something out, even if it's the same coach for the last 20 years. We need to do something. We have so many guys hurt. We would have been Super Bowl bound last year if we didn't have all the injuries, especially
I want to piggyback on something that Dolphin said. When we're talking about Tyreek. Another thing we gotta understand with Tyreek too, because I did a little research. If you go back and look at the stats on Tyreek when he was with the Kansas City Chiefs, he had a majority of 1,000-yard seasons, except for one when he was hurt.
No, his
Okay,
rookie year
okay.
was the only. Yeah, his rookie year was the only year he really didn't.
and then until now, yeah.
Right.
And then when he came over to our team, what, if I'm not mistaken, he had what, 1 or 2 1,000 yards.
No, he had 2 years of over 1,700 yards.
Right.
Yes.
So this season here, he hasn't achieved those yards. So what I'm saying is, to me, and I'm not making no excuses for Tyreek, I think he's what some people call a professionalist, where he has a set goal for himself, to the point where if he doesn't reach it, he's not going to be happy. But I'm not saying that as an excuse for him to to carry on the way he does. But I think that's part of his character, that he has to reach that goal. He has to get those stats, make it, if he can, make it to the playoffs, to the Super Bowl, to the Pro Bowl. And if he's not doing it, then he's not happy. And
Well,
I'm not saying that as an excuse for him to do them things on
as an
the internet
excuse
and all
for
that.
him.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to remember, he's seeing Mike Evans 11 straight years, 1,000 yards. He's comparing himself to him.
Right.
Mike Evans might not have had all the yards that Tyreek has or whatever. I don't know the stats or everything, but that's what he's going up against. He wants to be the number one receiver right now. Everybody's talking Mike Evans. He's getting the good news
Yep.
that he wants.
Yep.
11 straight years
Finally
for her.
talking Mike Evans, right?
He deserves it.
Finally.
But
Yes,
Tyreek
and he does deserve it.
Dude's
And Mike
consistent.
Evans puts team before himself. So that is Tyreek's problem. And Mr. Polk, your point is probably spot on about his goal for himself. And it's great to have goals for yourself. But if the goals for yourself are beyond what's best for the whole team, you're not a team player.
Correct.
Yes, we would all love to see him get 1,700 yards, but is that what's going to be best for the Dolphins?
Mm-mm.
No, not really. I mean, yes, it's great to have a wide receiver getting a bunch of yards, but Mike Evans is a team player, and he is about his team. And Tyreek needs to be about his team, because I
Yeah.
don't care what he's doing out there. He can't do it by himself. He's not throwing himself the ball. He's not blocking for himself. He's not handling the defense for himself. It is a team, dude. And you need to think team before yourself. And I mean, it's great to see him be successful, but the number of the drops that the guy has had, and so we're looking at drops twice. The dude had the ball taken from his hands. What are you doing? Why was somebody able to snatch the ball from your hands? Because you think you got it made.
No,
Because you didn't think anybody could do it.
no, because he's been playing with a hand and wrist injury all season long.
Come on,
Exactly.
tuck the ball away, big man.
No,
Tuck
no.
the ball
No,
away.
he
Don't
does.
let it
He
take
does
away
have
from
a,
you.
He does have a injury with his wrist.
He does.
In fact,
He
he's
does.
been
But
playing-
come on.
Because John, you're right. Because he's been playing most of the season with that
No,
injury.
all season he hurt himself in preseason.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So
I
I mean,
get
I
it.
give the guy kudos for going out there. I said it on Monday's show. He could have easily in the preseason, when he got hurt, gone to the doctors and they say, listen, it's going to get worse. We can do surgery now. You'll be back in 6 weeks. He could have said, okay, do the surgery. I'll miss the first 5-6 weeks of the season and then I'll come back and I'll be good. But he looked at
Right,
the
he
team and
wanted to
went,
play.
if I'm out, who's going to catch the ball? Where are they going to go?
Yeah.
So
And
he
he-
didn't have surgery.
So think about it. We would have been out. We would have been without Tyreek, Tua, week 2. No OBJ. Remember, we didn't get him until week 4. So you got to remember all these variables, because our season could have been way worse than what it is now.
Absolutely. And Tyreek played through that pain all year.
And then
Yeah.
Tyreek losing his QB1, he could have easily went out and got surgery. So if he at least wasn't
absolutely.
a team player, he would have went out and got surgery when he lost his QB1. This is the second time he's lost it. It's kind of in the middle. Like it's like a pendulum. I'm kind of swinging one way or the other, so I don't know which way to put it as for him. Like, yes, he kind of quit, but then did he give it when we needed him there? So it's like, but then even back to previous year when they were trying to feed him the ball to get him to break the record. How many times was Waddle or other guys open that we could have scored touchdowns? And they were trying to feed him the
But
ball.
Over and over and
that's on
over.
McDaniel.
Cray Crab, oh God, Cray
Even
Crab.
Barrios.
No,
How many
that's
times was
tight end.
Barrios open
Barrios.
and ready down the
I've seen,
sideline? Come
the
on.
tight end deal open.
But that's on McDaniel. That was McDaniel's fault.
Trying to be buddy with his players and not. Well, I know he was going for the win, but Time to say, hey, Tyreek, we got to cut it back. There's a wide open guy here. We're here to win games. We're here to win the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And that's what.
But he didn't want to tell him, like you were saying earlier, Derek. He wanted to be everybody's best friend.
And now
he didn't want to tell him no. That's
But
what
see,
you do to a spoiled child. You smack them and you tell them no.
But see, here's the thing: if he wants to, he can go and learn from Weaver. Because I'm gonna tell you the truth. Ever since we brought Weaver in, if you look at Weaver on the sidelines, I have not seen Weaver joking around with no players or smiling at no players. He always has a serious look on his face and what have you. And the only time I seen emotions from Weaver was with Calais.
Yes.
That's the only time I seen emotions from Weaver.
Guys, I'm gonna be honest with everybody on this panel. I don't mean to cut you off, Mr. Paul. I don't think we're gonna have Weaver at the beginning of next season.
He's gone.
Me neither.
Yep.
I think he's gone.
Me neither.
I think he's gone.
He's going to be a head coach somewhere.
He's gonna be a head coach somewhere.
Chicago is already interested in him.
So Chicago's interested in McCarthy. They said they wanted to ask permission to talk to McCarthy, but I heard McCarthy got fired. Correct? Was that official?
Dallas, right?
Didn't
Yes.
see that today, but maybe.
Okay, no, because I'm still everybody. I've been hearing rumors of that, but I know that ESPN reported that they asked the Dallas Cowboys permission to be able to interview or talk to McCarthy. So if anything goes wrong with, or if they decide to go in a different direction, at least he had a conversation with Chicago.
And
There's a lot of sourness with McCarthy and Dallas too.
Have you watched the game? I've watched the Cowboys game, and I'm gonna be honest with you. McCarthy's not it. If I was a player, wait, if you now we're talking about conversations of Miami Dolphin players being frustrated. Wouldn't you be? It's the same, almost the same exact thing. Their QB, $60 million man, got paid out for the season. It wasn't even his fault. It was an injury. He got injured, out for the season. They never recovered. You got people on defense playing their ass off, and they're pissed off because as soon as they get the ball back, they get the ball right back to the other defense, and they're right back on the field again. So
I'm going to give you two words for what's wrong in Dallas. Jerry Jones.
Exactly.
Until that man is not controlling Dallas anymore, Dallas will never do anything because no coach can go into Dallas and do what they think is right because he is the puppet master and he's going to call the shots. And we see how that works.
And
the
almost
last time Dallas was going to be a factor was when Parcells was in Dallas. They were going to be a factor that year, and Jerry Jones chose Terrell Owens over Parcells. And I'm telling you, since then, that was the last time they had a shot. And they will never have a shot as long as Jerry Jones is.
Well, Jerry Jones chose his own ego over Jimmy Johnson.
Yes.
Over and over. He's done it. Yep.
You got to let the head coach be a certain point to be the head coach, and he's micromanagement and telling him he can't do this, can't do that. And if you see today another subject with Weaver, Weaver did have an interview with the Saints today for his head coaching job. He did go there. He's still scheduled to go see Chicago. I'm afraid they do lose him, but
I mean, I wish him the best of luck. I really do, because I'm going to be honest with you guys. The defense might not be like Fangio's, but he had a very good defensive plan. He did very well with the personnel that he had here. I mean, we got to what, if I'm correct, overall within, 11, 12 in the league in defense, if I'm correct?
No, I think we were like 9th or 10th. We were in the top 10 overall.
So we were in the top 10. So to have a top 10 defense, a guy that comes in, another person that came in his first year and made an impact on defense, that's huge. We've been lucky. We've been very lucky. So are we going to be lucky?
Coordinators, yes.
Exactly. Now the question mark is going to be now, are we going to be lucky again for the third time? Because you got to think. This is my bad. The fourth time.
Yes.
Daniel had a different coordinator when he started with the team. He had the old coordinator that Flores had. Then he went to Fangio. Then he went to Weaver.
And Weaver. That's right.
Yeah, so he might be going to have. Yeah, he might be having to sit there and hire another defensive coordinator, and we might not get lucky. We got to sit there and put that in perspective. So
I've been thinking about that's why I want Weaver to go. because if we go, if the next person we pick may not have the potentials that we was at. I mean, just like you said, because I'm seeing the same thing with Hoover. He ever since he's been on our team, he's been progressing. I mean, he's been doing the best with what he had. The defense has been playing pretty well, the best that they can. And like I said, this weekend, there's no such thing as a perfect defense. Every now and then you're gonna play a team that's gonna outplay the defense, regardless of how good that coach or the team is. But anyway, he's done good to me for a first year defensive coach.
No, he's
And
done.
He came
For
from
the
Baltimore.
most
Kelsey.
part, he's done very well.
yeah, and see the thing I like about Weaver is that when things are not working, he adjusts. He tries to make adjustments. He doesn't just stick with the same thing. He tries to make adjustments. So that's the thing I like about him. Then I like the respect that the players have towards him as well. So like I said, I hope we can keep him. But if not, he has my best wishes on getting a head coach job. But it's gonna really kind of hurt us a little bit. It's gonna hurt us some to lose him.
Yeah, the only thing I wanted to see is he had the good numbers like 9 to 10 defense, but there's 3 to 4 games. Arizona being one of them, we should have won that game, and the defense fell flat on its face. I flew down and spent a lot of money to come to that game,
Tennessee,
and it's
I was there too, Derek.
Indy.
so frustrating. And then drop it. I don't care if you got the number one defense. I don't care if we're the worst. I'm going for wins. That's why I really hope we can bring him back so he can rebuild that next year. You know what I mean? I want to know what he's going to prove. And then going back to like his emotions on the sidelines. Even like the
Oh my gosh, Keith.
Patriots
Did y'all see the comment that Keith just went up that Keith just made?
I'm with that. 100%.
Me too.
Yeah,
I'm with
Me
that
too.
100%.
That guy is a
Absolutely.
good
that
coach.
also. I've been hearing the
I'm
rumors.
with that 100%. I really am. I told somebody that. They said if because I love working in Philly. I love being here in Philly and being a Dolphins fan because I get Eagle fans come up to me and they like, "What's up with the fans burning the jerseys?" I said that's their fault. I said they could have just mailed it. They could have just mailed it to me.
No,
But
right.
anyway,
Something like
I told them because they asked me. They said they actually asked this question or actually said this. They said, "Well, what happens if Weaver goes?" And I said, "Well, he's going to start getting an interview, and if he does go, Robert Saleh sitting right there, and they're boys."
I said that on Monday show, if you remember.
Yep.
Yeah,
And I've been saying it too because you look, he was a good coach. He was not the problem in Jesterville. He was not the problem. The biggest problem was Aaron Rodgers. That's his problem.
Thank you.
Yeah, you want to talk about a guy with an ego that controls a team. Chris, we deal with a little bit of stuff from Tyreek. Can you imagine dealing with Aaron Rodgers?
Nope.
Oh my God.
Gets his coach fired and the GM.
No, but not just that. It go look back to the days when he was with the Packers. Look what happened when they went selected Love. Man, it's like he almost snapped. When he got Love.
He came right out and said it's not my job to teach the rookie. But you know what? But you got to remember the culture when he was drafted by Green Bay. Favre pretty much said the same thing. It's not my job to teach this kid. It's my job to quarterback the team. Well, that's why they have him sit 4 years or so. They develop a relationship. Favre and Rodgers are friends. Rodgers and Love are friends because you develop that relationship of being in the room with the guy and learning from him. And maybe the first year it's awkward. The second year it gets better. The third year it's even better. The fourth year it's great. And then he's gone and you're the new starter. Yeah. How many times have I said on this panel, I don't understand why more teams do not do what Green Bay does with their quarterback.
Exactly, because that's a good thing they got going. I mean, going way back.
You got about 5 years from now, as long as Love is still playing, and the Green Bay is going to draft somebody and put him there for 3-4 years behind Love.
Yep.
And we're all going to be going, damn, they did it again.
And they did it again, right? And to Derek's point, though, about Weaver and losing some of the games, how many times did you sit looking at a game and you're looking at, it's not just zone, it's not just soft zone. I called it, it was what do you call it? It was
Prevent you
No.
from winning.
well, yes, but it was an escort. I felt like they were escorting the receivers and running backs down the field. It was an escort. It wasn't even a defense. You can't even call that soft zone.
So is an escort service just not in a good way?
Exactly. Exactly. Not that any of them are good ways. Just saying, John. But anyway. But yes, it was an escort service. It was not a defense. I just the number of times I'm like, what do you call that defense? So he is so right. Derek is so right. And the Arizona game is just one of the examples.
Arizona, Tennessee,
Yes.
Indianapolis.
Yes.
I mean, we were all there for the Arizona game, and trust me, we all seen it.
Buffalo with a 60-something yard field goal.
Listen, I remember Paul sitting next to me, and it was halftime. And Paul looked at me and he said, "Are you okay, brother?" I said, "I'm fine." He said, "We're winning," and I said, "It's not over yet."
It's not over. And you knew, because how many times have you seen that movie? I've seen that movie a bunch of times. And
I just had
I had my grandsons with me, and they're like, "Mimi, we're gonna win this, right?" And I'm like, "I hope so." I mean, I didn't want to tell them, no, we're fixing to blow this. But you could see with the clock management and how the clock went down, you could see the writing on the wall, and then you see that escort down the field. I just was.
People gotta understand the game. Everybody has to understand the game at one point. Both teams are going to go into halftime and make adjustments. They're making adjustments on the fly in the first and even the second quarter. But when they go in that locker room for that 15 minutes, they already got another game plan. Like, okay, well, we already predicted or we already seen. So they're already game planning from that damn into that game beforehand. That Monday, they're in the film room and they're sitting there studying and looking already at their opponent already. So they already got an idea of what we're going to do. And when we started doing certain things, and then after a while, they got hip to those certain things, they exploited. And that's
but
what
we didn't make adjustments to their adjustments.
Exactly.
We never make the adjustments.
Right.
Well, like even what we're doing when we lost some of them, you had the tight end. It was always one player. The Cardinals game was the tight ends for a while. The Raiders game was the tight end. A lot of these games that we lost was all tight ends that they were passing to. And then Marvin Harrison Jr. You had him going. Why are you not putting your best guy on there? You had Cater and some other guys. Why are you not double covering these guys? It was just the same stuff the whole half. It's like,
well, I'll say this.
Such a good point, Derek.
I'll say this. I'm not going to put everything on the defensive coordinator like Scotty is in the comments. You got to blame some of them players for them missed tackles. You really do. Because I'm not going to lie to you. I watched a lot of games that we played, winning or losing. We have had, one way or the other, a missed tackle. And you have to wrap a man up. You can wrap a man up without sitting there getting a penalty or doing something stupid. And that was a problem. My brother Russell, and I hope he's watching this, my brother Russell always tells me, until we are no longer a finesse team, we are going to be seeing the same old thing year in and year out. And don't get me wrong, I love speed like everybody else, but you got to be able to punch somebody in the mouth. Because I'm going to tell you, speed only can go so far. You can be faster than me, but if I'm stronger than you, and once I catch up to you, because eventually you're going to slow down. And once you slow down, I got you. I'm trying to knock your socks off. So with being said, that's just what we need to do.
But also what Derek was saying about the tight end. So they kept running the same play over and over. And then you'd see teams, okay, this play works. And they never adjust to it because it was the tight end. And it was tight ends on multiple teams and multiple plays. And it was over and over. And it's like, how many times are we going to let them run the same play before we go, oh, hey, we got to adjust to this? And they never did. And you're right about the lack of execution winners, but also it's bad technique. And does that go back to the coach?
It goes back to the coach.
It
It goes
does.
back to the coach, but it goes to the players also, where you
It
have
does.
a man wrapped up and you don't bring him down. That's a
It
problem.
does.
Yeah.
Well, a
That's a
lot of
problem.
times
when
when
you
we
That's
were
lack of
missing tackles, it was arm tackles. Guys are throwing their arm out. They're not
Yeah,
trying to tackle. They're
man,
throwing
you
their arm
can't
out. They're
do
trying to
that,
punch the
bro.
ball out. They're
cannot
avoiding
do that.
contact. Football's a
Mhm.
contact sport. Goddamn it! Stop
Right.
trying to avoid it.
Yeah,
Right.
that shit is sad,
You can't
man.
do that with, if you go back and look at a player like Earl Campbell, ain't no way you're gonna bring him down by sticking your arm out there. 'Cause you stick your arm out there at
Or be
Earl Campbell
broken.
coming if you want to,
Yeah, he'll
your
break
arm
off.
will get snatched off.
Yeah, get broken. That's what I'm saying. Like,
It's going to get
don't
broken.
look.
You gotta
Like I
wrap 'em
tell
up.
people, like you guys know this because you guys watched it live. I remember as a baby and like growing up watching Wild World of Sports and the NFL films back in the day, and I say this all the time. It was helicopter tackles. People were getting body slammed, power bombed. Like
Mhm.
that's what I grew up off of.
But the rules have
We
changed. You can't do that stuff now.
Right.
man, you'd be locked up. They would bring the cops on the field, probably put you in handcuffs and
I'm
walk
old,
you out.
I'm old enough to remember the '70s. They would just throw their arm out and hit you in the throat and clothesline your ass and put you on the ground.
Eye gouging, breaking guys' nose.
No,
Yeah.
You know that's going
you
on
had
there
you
now,
had
though.
one
That
player.
eye gouging and that kind of stuff.
Well,
When you see what was the
Well, seal
Darth
it.
Vader mask on? Who
Yeah.
had that mask on
Well,
this week?
Good luck to you. Good luck to you, Miami. Who do y'all play this weekend, Tampa guy? Because I know Eagles play against Green Bay here this weekend, which I'm
Tampa
praying I
plays
can get home.
Washington.
They play
I'm
Washington.
rooting for
yeah,
Tampa Bay as well.
I think was
at
it.
home
I
against
think
Washington.
They play
That's
the
gonna be a good
Rams.
game. I
They
will
play
say
the
this.
Rams.
I will say this, and I don't care how much slack I get for this.
They play
I
the
believe
Rams.
that Tampa Bay has the best wide receiving tandem right now going into the playoffs. I do. They are scary.
too.
They are scary good. They are very scary, and they're consistent. You just mentioned Evans, and I wanted to say that. If you watch this man has been he's been consistent for the last almost decade.
yeah.
And he always goes underneath the radar, but he shows up when you need him to show up.
You talking
Same
about
thing with
Mayfield? Who are you talking about?
No, they're talking about
Mike Evans.
Mike Evans.
Oh, Evans. No, Evans has been a great player, like you said, 10 years. But I also love watching Baker Mayfield because as many mistakes as he made, he is a competitor and he's going to give it 110%. And I love watching him on the field. You know, I hated him coming out of college, but I love watching him on the field. He is, you know,
And then what Cleveland did to him when they could have had him, they decided to pick Deshaun over him. You know,
how stupid, right?
Yeah, how'd that work out for Cleveland?
Yeah. How's it going now, Cleveland?
There you go.
I wish there was one thing I could do when they missed all them tackles. I know when I played high school football, what was the drill? You had all the players around. You play music. Have two guys helmet to helmet. One's carrying the ball. I would have made them guys tackle each other. You miss tackles. I forget the name of the drill, but your helmet to helmet, you know, and then just get up and tackle each other. They needed the tackling 101. But one good thing is we got two dogs that can tackle now. We got Brooks and we got Dotson. They showed their work.
Yeah, but
Oh,
Dotson's a
good
free
luck.
agent, so they got to re-sign him.
Oh, you
They
bet.
need to re-sign him.
They
And
need to
Brooks
re-sign him.
looks so good. I mean, you see him. How much do we hate, you know, what we lost to Minnesota? I mean, I feel like you cut the heart out of our defense by
See, the problem with that is Tom said it last night on Pedro's show. Van Ginkel went to Minnesota because two reasons. One, he knew Flores and he knew he was going to be the starter. If he stayed in Miami, he was playing a rotation where he's only going to get maybe 50% of the snaps if he's lucky, and he wanted to be a starter. He went out there and proved he could be a starter in Minnesota, makes the Pro Bowl. If he was in Miami, he's not the same player. His stats aren't the same because they constantly rotate in and out.
but
The
how
man
did that
almost
work
had a-
out for Van
back.
Ginkel?
He
He
almost
goes
had
back.
an interception. He almost had an interception in last Sunday's game. He was this close from getting another.
Van
I mean, a big
Ginkel
six.
is,
But
oh,
if
he's
you
so
go back
good.
and look at
We were stupid to get rid of him.
Yeah.
But I agree with Derek. I mean, Brooks is a beast. We got
Oh,
these
yeah.
guys and they look
Mhm.
good.
If
And
we don't sign Dotson back, that's going to be the 2.0 of losing Van
that's a big
Ginkel.
mistake.
Yeah, but,
We
but here's the thing. Does he want to come back? If you think about it, Dotson is a veteran who's played quite a few years. If he saw that the captains were showing up late and the guys weren't coming to meetings, he's sitting here going, what the fuck am I doing here? I came here to try to help win a championship, in the middle of the season, and these guys can't even show up for the damn meeting. So I actually want to be here?
But he's had two back-to-back games, AFC Player, Defensive Player of the Week, in any of his career.
No. Listen, I want to have him back, but does he want to come back?
But was exactly. Because if you kind of look at it, unfortunately, the atmosphere with our team is that okay, you come in and you kind of do what you want, and then you got some players that I gotta make sure I say this right. You got some players that's coming in that had that dog attitude. But when they start seeing how our culture is, then it's like, okay, well, even though I'm not making no excuse for them to do it, it's like they blend into what the culture is here. And it's that.
Not necessarily, Mr. Polk, but a guy like Dotson will see guys not showing up on time or coming in late and going, well, hey, right, and he still played hard, but
that's what he's doing.
But the incentive to come back isn't there because he's like, why do I want to come back to a team where, everybody loves the coach, but they don't respect them? You can show up for a
And they're
meeting
not going to play.
Right.
And they're not going to play. When you're a dog, like Mr. Polk was saying, when you're a dog, you want dogs next to you.
Mhm.
You don't want the sponge cake over there with the strawberry filling. You don't want that. No, sponge cake is never satisfying. Sorry.
And I know we can't have all dogs on our offense and defense especially. I know you can't have all dogs and what have you. But then too, I'm gonna say something else too. The other thing that we need is from our CEO is the word that mentioned before, accountability.
Right.
We need accountability. It starts at the top. If you got if Ross comes, makes a 360 turn and say, okay, I'm going to be more. I'm going to have accountability for myself and for those who work with me. It triggers down to the persons behind him, down to the GM, then down to the coaches, then down to the team. Being accountable, having accountability. That's the other thing that's needed. You have to have accountability.
Right.
Just like in the school system, you got a principal who's over the school. You got assistant principal to help her out. Okay, then you talk about teacher, you talk about cafeteria worker, custodian, and all that. All those people have to have somebody who will hold them accountable, or else that school is not going to function right. And I've seen schools shut down because of lack of accountability. So you have to have that in this structure with the NFL. That's why some of these other teams are doing well because they got accountability.
But if you have too much going on in Ross isn't too much, you're having a Jerry Jones 2.0. That's where the team needs to be running more stuff and then the head coach. But back to my point with Dotson. If he wanted to get that chip on his shoulder like he has been and finally wanted from being the leading tackle to get released, you want to have your chip on the shoulder, you stay with the Dolphins, you sign back, and you show them what you can do. You've already just cracked the surface. If Weaver's there, I think if Weaver comes back, he's going to be there. I think that's going to be the big key for us. He finally showed his worth. Now you just keep building on that and say, ha, Seattle, look what you missed out.
Yeah.
And we need somebody like him. He could be a captain. But it starts with accountability, and it's all going to come down to what is McDaniel going to do? Can he salvage this team, not be too stern, but not be a buddy player or coach player? You know what I mean? It's tough.
Agreed.
Well,
I'm like this. I'm going to sit there and go back on saying what I said. I'm just going to tell y'all that I wouldn't be surprised within about a couple months after the season that Weaver might be a head coach somewhere.
Dolphin Winters, I'm with you on that. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to see it, But
I
I
don't
think
want to see it either, but I just got this feeling that he's going to be ahead, and rightfully so. And I tell everybody this: as much me personally, I enjoyed him as a defensive coordinator. You know, we had holes like all defensive has holes, but
exactly.
I'm like this: we're going to go back into the unknown, go back into the unknown of what we're going to get, and I hope that we get a Salah. I really do. Because I mean, he's just sitting at home chilling. So
I want the defensive coordinator from the dynasty, from the Patriots, and like the Ravens. They build defenses, win championships.
mhm.
So that's where it's at. But now let me ask you guys this before we jump off here because it's getting late too. What is one guy that's a free agent on the Miami Dolphins that you guys would like to be back? My biggest one, I would love to see Dotson, and then obviously Campbell, the high, guys that are going to retire close. But younger, middle-aged guy, I would love to see Dotson back. What's your guys' thoughts?
That's the
If
guy
it's
I
in the
want to come back.
plans, it depends on what direction of the Miami Dolphins are going to go, and we're going to have to figure out what direction Dotson wants to go. You know what I
Well,
mean? We all know this is a business, and I get it, because everybody's going to want what they want, and they feel what they're worth. So he's going to probably see what his agent talks with the Miami Dolphins. I guess probably our season is over, but probably at the end of the NFL season. And then
if
sit there and figure out what he wants to do. And if he starts shopping around and finds a better deal, and if Weaver does leave, you never know. He might go where Weaver's going.
Right.
So it's a lot of variables. I would like to see him back. I think everybody on this panel would like to see him back, but does it make sense for the organization? That's the biggest question mark.
I'd like to see
if I'm not
Oddball
mistaken,
back too.
I think we were brought Dawson in, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, they got him off waivers, yeah.
Yeah, they took him off.
But
Wait,
what
what
I'm
did you,
saying,
Papa
but what
Paul?
I'm
What did
saying,
you say?
I said I'd like to see Oddball come back too.
That's one of those ones that he came back, he played well, but he was cut for a reason.
Yeah.
yeah,
I
that's
understand, but
kind of
he played
iffy right there.
extremely well this
Yeah,
year.
yeah, he did. He played well when they brought him back. He played well.
Not only that, he kind of slimmed down and tightened up a little bit too. But that's kind of iffy. I don't know.
Well, and I
It,
think the two you mentioned, Derek, were two really good things. And I know we all think that we need to address the offensive line, but one of the things about addressing the offensive line is Butch Berry is worth his weight in gold.
Yeah.
And we have ignored that man's needs. And I say we, I don't mean we, I mean they have ignored Butch Berry's needs, and they need to give Butch Berry something to work with, because I don't want to see that guy go like get an offer from somebody and be out.
I think Butch Berry did a good enough job that what he could with what he has. And
100%.
you gotta really believe, like I'm kind of mind boggled why we didn't bring back the gentleman that we had, and he went to Seattle instead. The center that we had,
oh, you talking about
what's his name, guys?
Connor
Williams.
Yes, I still don't understand why we didn't bring Connor Williams
Because he was
back.
hurt.
No, he tore
I
his.
know, but even when he was hurt, he got back off an injury. I guess he tried out. I don't know if Miami didn't like what they saw, whatever, and he went right to Seattle, and he didn't do bad for them at all.
And then he retires. He got a concussion, retired. It's like, and then he gave it up. But one thing that I've seen here that we need to hold, we've been talking about accountability. Greer has finally mentioned the offensive line. It's time to put your money where your mouth is and draft one or two good guards or linemen. The longest I can ever think of, we only had Tunsil as a first-round pick. I'm not saying we need to have a first-round pick as a lineman. So like to have the safety from Georgia. But this is the time. He's finally mentioned it. We need to hold him accountable if he does not get us some young, good college athletes coming to the pros here to help us with the offensive line. It's the first time I've ever heard him actually say it needs dressed. It's time to shut up, put up or shut up. You know what I mean? It's time to make it happen.
I think he's scared not to at this point. Like he's gonna be hung up by his thumbs if he doesn't do something about the offensive line.
Now here's something that a lot of football fans don't know. Do you know who Greer actually works for?
No.
Ross?
Well, that's the ultimate boss. That's the CEO. But do you know who's above Greer when it comes to The hierarchy of an NFL team?
Marino.
No, it's the senior vice president of player operations that Greer works for. That's the person. That's the person who is supposed to have ultimate say over your draft and who you bring in as free agents. The GM is just the person that's in between the senior vice president of player operations and the coach, and works on the contracts and things like that. So everybody mentions Greer's name constantly, and I can guarantee you there are very small percentage of people out there that know Miami's senior vice president of player operations. That is the person that's ultimately supposed to be in charge of your draft, free agents, and everything else.
Okay, so that's the guy I need to slap around a little bit. I'm fine with whoever it is. I'm fine. I slap him around a little bit. Somebody needs slapped around a little bit.
And Pam, Miss Pam, you're absolutely right, because I haven't really heard much about with him. I haven't seen much of or heard him in any conversations.
I'm not saying Miami uses it the right way, but if you look at the good teams and you look them up, and you can look up like Green Bay's senior vice president of player operations and Baltimore, and these guys are very involved in the draft and who they're taking, and they have the ultimate say, not the GM.
But once you do the line, one thing I want back, hashtag, I want Dick Tua back. All these quarterbacks, Lamar, Allen, Bo Nix. I know he's younger, but he's a rookie, but they're all big. They've gained some mass. Tua needs to put some size on. You're not running the ball. It's time to get thick. Just look how better he did, being a little thicker.
Well, when he was thicker, he didn't run at all. He just got rid of the ball real quick and stayed in the pocket and moved a little bit, and boom. And now this year he lost some weight and tried running, and the dumbass can't slide. They need to take him to a baseball camp from now until the middle of the summer and make him slide 1,000 times a day. I watched that highlight of Josh Allen's slide. God damn, he slid for like 7 yards and then just popped up like he was popping up on a base, and it was beautiful. Some of these they teach Tua that.
Heal that.
You see Scotty's remark in the comments there? Fat Tua. So it's campaign for Fat Tua.
No, but see, here's the thing too. You got to think about too. If he's still having problems with the hip, that might be the reason why he doesn't want to slide.
Well, no, the hip only happened in the Houston game. That was the dumbass dove in between two people and got smacked, and then in the 49ers game got thrown to the ground and landed on the same hip. If he would start sliding and not diving head first, he could avoid that stuff.
More jitsu, more weight, bulk up. We got Super Bowl with the team we have, and we just got to make sure to coach. If we didn't have the injuries, I'm telling you, we went somewhere. And then I'd rather him be a little bit thicker, a little bit slower. He can't run. And then if he does run, what was that year he ran over when he ran up to Mill? He
trucked the guy
for that safety.
And
I want that Tua back. He's our franchise QB1. I want the Tua that ran over that Jets cornerback or safety or whatever it was. I have it still screenshot on my phone, and it shows a wave coming in and him crushing. That's the Tua I want back.
That was good.
Tua got hurt every time he was under 225, even in college. When he was smaller, he was more injury prone. It's been proven.
I want a Tua that just gets rid of the ball and does what he's supposed to do, get in the hands of the receivers, the running backs, the whatever, and let them make the damn plays. His numbers will come along with it.
Yep. Hit the weights and more jitsu.
Well, then, to a truck time. That's what you need. To a truck time. And I saw Papa Smurf, like I didn't see him in the YouTube chat, but Papa Paul was putting up his comments, and I meant to say hi to him a long time ago. So Papa Smurf, if you're still there, hello.
What's up, Papa Smurf? How are you, brother?
Shout out to everybody that's watching on all the platforms this evening and the Huddle Sports Network. We definitely appreciate you and thank you for the support. Folks, I mean, where do we go from here is the major question mark. I mean, that's what it comes down to. 25 years, no playoff appearances. We're going backwards, not forwards. Unfortunately, we had our QB1 was injured a lot this season. I mean, that's a lot of games, and we didn't have a backup plan. So, I mean, where do we go? Like, that's like,
irresponsibility, Dolphin winners. That was complete irresponsibility on the part of the Dolphin organization to leave us without a good QB2 when you know QB1 is injury prone. Complete irresponsibility. I almost feel like world peace is easier to figure out than the Dolphins organization.
Yeah,
You got a point. You got a fucking point for real.
We do have a lot of
And
we do have a lot of positive on this team that we could take forward. It's easier said than done. Keep the positive, get rid of the negative, but it's there. There's a lot of talent. We just got to figure out these little things. It just comes back to like McDaniels kept saying over and over and over. It's the fine details. Well, it's time to start doing it, McDaniels. It's time to step up, be the coach we know you can be. It's time. We got it because this is probably the best team we've had in a long time. We just gotta take care of business.
I'm going to
Quit
correct
talking
you there,
about-
Derek. It's the best roster we've had.
yeah. Ross.
There's a difference. Well, I started saying this way back in the third or fourth week. We have a great roster. We didn't have a good team.
It's like the
and
Eagles.
that's a
when they
fine point.
that stuff.
Yeah.
Remember years ago. It wasn't. When was it? 2000 or wait a minute. I don't even know exactly. But remember when then the Eagles spent all that money and then they ended up just being totally terrible. They looked amazing on paper. I mean,
Yep.
we're definitely not that bad, but it's all coming down to McDaniels has got to step up and quit being so all about himself.
You're talking about the year. You're talking about the year Asamoah. They brought Asamoah here to Philly, and they were talking about, oh yeah, I feel like we're gonna be a Super Bowl team in the preseason, and they shit the bed. I was laughing. I was like, what? I said, yo, what the fuck are y'all doing? Oh, you heard him? And like Eagle fans was Eagle fans was talking shit, and I'm like, dude, no.
Well, with
And
Coach McDaniels.
So to quote Johnny
O,
you know, you got to wait and see. So, you know, before the season started, we're all talking about, man, on paper, we look great. And Johnny is like, got to wait and see. Got to just wait and see. And I hate that he was right, but Johnny O was right.
Listen, we got the draft as the next thing. We got to wait and see who they take. There's going to be players they take that we're like, oh, that's a good pick. And there's going to be players that what the hell are they reaching for? Or why did they take them in that round? It happens to every team every year. Go watch the draft. Guys get drafted and their fans are booing them. And then they turn out to be great players or they turn out to be not. You know, you wait and see how they change from college to pros. All we can do as fans is wait and see.
It's like they're going to find a way to get us back addicted. We're a little bit down right now. It's only going to take one thing, and we're going to be back addicted again, because that's just Vince for life. But they're going to find a way. There's going to be that one thing that's going to make us happy. And the biggest thing is this gigantic family that we have that I finally got to be of. I don't care if we were. I mean, I do care though if we would lose and stuff. But the biggest thing is the tailgate parties and hanging out and the charities we do. That is what's number one in my heart. I want to see us win. But just the family right there just makes me ecstatic about what the future holds for that. But yes, we need a winning team on top of it.
I can tell you guys this, and I'll be straight up. When you guys start talking about the draft and all these college players, even Pam, I'm just going to be just the guy chilling. Like, I don't know who the fuck y'all talking about because I don't follow college like that. And there's no disrespect to college. There's no disrespect to college football. It's just too much going on with college football for me. It's just too much. So I leave it to
200 and something teams. I mean, it's
just too much. I'm like,
no, it's not too much for me to watch all those teams. No, I love football. I watch the college football. I mean, I know so many players in college. There's so many players that are no longer in the NFL that I can tell you where they went to college. And I'm not Johnny O. My brain ain't like that, but I know college, and there are some players out there, but they're trying to ruin college with this portal thing. And the portal is fine, but there needs to be some parameters where people can't leave a team, every quarter. You shouldn't be able to leave the team every quarter. And it's raising up more guys to come into the NFL to think that it's about them. And it's already a problem in the NFL. Like, I don't want to see that.
like the
What's-
NIL deal. People now that I'd like to see that the guys are
money.
getting paid and the colleges are not making the money.
Shake.
But yeah, now they're starting the process where these guys are making more money than they're going to get when they first get drafted. They're already starting the diva process already, and the crybabies already, because they're already making more money than they're going to make in probably the first 5 to 6 years. So they're already causing the up. You know what I mean? But one other thing, what do you guys think? It's been on my mind. What do you guys think about Travis Hunter not going as a wide receiver and going as a cornerback? You think that's a smart move?
Listen, whatever team drafts him is going to make that decision.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. Though.
Deion Sanders was one of the best corners in the league. He could let a guy go by him, and then he had closing speed and still get there to knock the ball down or intercept it or tackle. And then when they realized he had that kind of speed, that's when they started putting him on the offensive side and giving him a few plays to play a wide receiver. And he was great at kick returning, whether it was punts or kicks. So, I kind of see this kid in the same light. It's 30 plus years later after Deion, but yeah, I mean, if he starts as a corner and can learn the game in the NFL and then maybe be a kick returner and then maybe get some offensive plays, a small package here and there, and he's the next one that can play both ways, hey, kudos to the kid.
And I love to see how he has so much heart. I love it. Like, he's got heart and he's got passion. But hey, what's up, Money? Nice to meet you, buddy.
Hey, by the way, Dolph Freaky, you look a lot younger. How you doing? That's okay. My bad.
Shake Money, the big old spoon, stirring it up.
But I think Hunter will be great, especially in New England. Him and Christian Gonzalez, that'll be a great defensive back tandem.
Yeah,
I don't want to see him out of division.
The one thing the NFL needs to do is figure out how to fix the way the money is spent. They need to come up with a formula and say, okay, your quarterback can only make 15 to 17% of the cap, and your best lineman can only make 10% of the cap, and your best because all these teams, and we're one of them, you're spending $50 million on a quarterback and they're at 23% of the cap money. That's crazy. The NFL needs to come up with some kind of systems where this can't blow up like it has over the last few years with these quarterback contracts. And then you're leaving yourself very little to spend in other places.
But I think the reason why the NFL has it that way is they don't want teams to build dynasty runs. You know what I mean? I think they're trying to cripple certain teams from repeating and going back to back certain years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if you take the cap and say, okay, your quarterback can only make 15 to 17% of your cap, that's for every team.
Yeah.
So if you think your quarterback is worth the 17%, you give it to him. If you think the safety is worth, maybe they can only get maximum 10%, then you give it to them, and then you spread the rest around. We have $60 million tied up in two wide receivers, and 21 or 22% of our cap is tied up in our quarterback.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's nuts. So
It is nuts.
You don't have the money to go out and then get these other pieces. Where if the NFL, like the NBA, has a maximum you can re-sign for if you stay with the team. If you leave that team, it's less money to go sign with somebody else. So they're encouraging them to stay with the team they're with.
Yeah.
Right, and then Pamela, what you were saying about on the comments here from Renegade 76. If I was Ayers, or however you pronounce his name, I'm definitely staying. And then you put a maximum insurance policy. Some of these guys spend 25, 50 million. At least 25 million if they go in the top 10 in the draft. He's making a bunch of money off the college football thing. Even if he doesn't pan out, or he gets hurt his senior year, he's getting $6 million by NIL deals. Then he's getting the insurance for $25 million. There's $30 million, and he hadn't even touched a football field.
Hadn't touched anything. Exactly. And there's a lot of players that are great players in college, and I'm not sure I'm going to label him a great player. He's a good player, but he. You may not translate. What I was saying is you may not translate to the NFL because there's a lot of great players that just don't make it in the NFL. And so, like you were saying, or what I was saying is about if he were to get hurt, so it makes sense for him to stay. But sometimes you wonder, like, if they're thinking it all the way through. But if somebody is advising him, the advice to stay his senior year makes a lot of sense.
Right.
Well, see, I'm one that's I'm for the portal because if a coach can stand in front of a room of kids that are 18 to 20, 21 and 22 years old and say, I'm not going anywhere, and then 2 weeks later leave and sign with another college because they offer more money, it's a bigger program, the kids should be able to switch too, because you have certain kids that go to a college just because that coach is there.
Mhm.
And then that coach leaves. Well, how's that fair to the kid? He could have gone somewhere else, but he chose that school because he liked the coach. The coach leaves. Why can't the kids leave?
But see, you
So,
got all.
John, I'm not against the portal. I'm not against the portal. What I'm against is that they can change every quarter.
Well,
There needs to be something because, you know, there's a lot of, say you're a kid that goes to a school because you know this player is there. And what happened to being a team? What happened to toughing it out? And what happened to
Here's the
meaning
thing.
your word means something?
Thank
What
you.
happened to
Thank you.
that?
money got in the
Thank you.
way.
Here you go. Thank you.
Money got in the way.
Here
Money's
you
the
go.
root of all evil, and you know what I mean. And then now the SEC has a ton of money. You're going to start seeing Alabama and all them now. They can start paying, and these you know, people that's giving these monies. You're going to start seeing teams stack more, and it's not going to be fun anymore for college.
No.
The money's going to be going to college. In 5 years, people are not going to watch college as much because it's
Yep.
going to be the college of crybabies, and now instead of the no fun league with the NFL and all the crybabies, it's going to be the same way, and they're going to ruin it. And then people are going to go back to watching school football again, where it actually means something.
100%. And I
Yeah.
mean, whether that is, you know, the CFL or whatever it is, the NFL and college better pay attention because they are going to lose the way they are selling out. Where you, as a fan, have to have 5 or 6 different things. You have to buy all these things to see an NFL game or to see all your team's games. It's ridiculous. The people that got you there were the people that have been fans for a long time, not the Taylor Swift fans. Those people, as soon as she breaks up with what's his name, they're out. They will not promote you. They will not be a Kansas City fan anymore. The people that have been your fans that are raising kids and my grandkids coming up now being Dolphin fans, this is the heart of your business. You better pay attention.
Well, one thing I want to bring up too is 2 things about the one thing is look at baseball. It used to be America's pastime. Then it got too greedy. Now nobody gives a crap about baseball anymore. And
Yep.
secondly, the one good thing I would say about the money with the NIL deals is that kids could be a little bit more pickier about where they have more control about where they're drafted. But at the same token, like you said, you know, the double-edged sword is the fact that one of the things I used to always look forward to was bowl games because you had 2 highly competitive ranked teams play each other. I'm like, okay, now it's become a preseason game.
Yep.
Nobody
Yeah.
wants to play these bowl games. Nobody wants. You have 2 powerhouse teams play that didn't make the playoffs, so they're gonna be playing each other. So you're gonna see competitive football. But no, I'm going to the NFL, so I'm not playing. Oh, me neither. I'm going to. So it's like now you're getting a quarterback who's never played all season, expect him to play good his first time against, you know what I mean? So it's become a preseason game now, these bowl games.
Yeah, that's like with Travis Hunter. He wanted $5 million to play in the bowl game. They need to do something, or they're going to start losing. Once college starts losing their money on these bowl games, they need to do some kind of incentives for them for like insurance policy or something. So if they do get hurt, but it's good and bad. But like you said, so the root of money is going to cause issues, and it's sad. I mean, these kids deserve to get the money more than these colleges. These colleges were pocketing billions and billions of dollars. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And there's something in between, right? There's something that's fair. I'm not exactly sure what it is. It's like you were saying, Derek, maybe insurance policies or whatever. But everything is lost to being a team player and being there for your teammates. I mean, what happened to the bowl game was your most exciting thing. What happened to going and supporting your teammates and being there and playing that game? It's just, it's ridiculous. And now, you know, you get
Right.
teams that are in bowl games and they're playing this big team, but the big team ain't really there. You didn't actually play that team. You beat them, but you didn't actually play that team. You played the water boy and his girlfriend and the next door neighbor. That's who you played. You didn't play that team.
Like, I
It's
even
sad.
post
Well,
from
it's not like when FSU lost to Georgia, they got stopped by Georgia. Of course, they got stopped by Georgia because 80% of their starters weren't on the team. What do you expect?
right. Like I seen a couple posts of some stuff on X about where, like even there were some young kids that came to their first games for the Kansas City game, and they pretty much didn't play anybody. Them families spent all that money to watch them, and all these diehard fans were like, "Oh, just shut up! We're going to win the Super Bowl." We're losing. We're losing what the main thing is. You're losing the smaller kids that come. You go there and they don't get to see all their players, or they don't talk to them. Like that's just it's just
It's horrible. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. And I'm trying to think, was it Tua they were saying wasn't talking to anybody or signing? I'm sorry, dude. You sat over there, you were taking a nap on the sidelines. You didn't even look interested. You're making all this money and you couldn't bother to go over there and support your teammates and sign some autographs for some fans who pay you, by the way. They pay you. I don't care who's signing the check. The money comes from the fans. Maybe TV contracts, but it all comes down to the people that watch the game.
And I wish Russ could hear me. He needs to start doing something more for the fans that come in the seats. Yes, I've come to 3 or 4
Yes, right.
this coming year. I'm going to start coming to more of them. But a damn book bag isn't good enough. You know, that got made in China that they got for $5, and they sell them here and online for $100. Like it's terrible.
It's terrible. And we're like one of the worst teams. You know, like there's a lot of teams, there's a lot of fans that go to out of town games, the away games, John. Yes, a whole bunch of people. Yes, winners. Yes, a whole bunch of people. And they have a better fan experience as an away fan than they do in our own stadium.
Most definitely.
Like the year, what the Patriots fans got. I mean, I'm not club level, but a lot of the club level guys, they got these cool little boxes that opened up with shirts and all kinds of stuff. I mean, I don't expect to get something like that. You know what I mean? But it was on TikTok, all these cool things that they were opening stuff up, and like the Chiefs got, the fans got stuff, and like we were a freak shirt.
Right.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, Derek. When back in the days when you had the Orange Bowl and you had the Miami Dolphins playing in the Orange Bowl, back in those days, if you went to a game, periodically, you would get, at that time they would give you things. I mean, you had players out there sometimes handing out things. You had coaches out there handing out things. The people who had the Orange Bowl would give oh my goodness, I got a little brain lock. They'll give people coming in all kind of little surprises and gift bags and stuff like that. I mean, they got they got away from that big time, because that's what I grew up on. When we had the Orange Bowl.
Yeah, one thing when I got frustrated when I came down, I always one thing I came down, they were all worried about the Taylor Swift thing. I kept asking the lady, when are we going to get the military appreciation hats? I always buy a cancer hat and a military hat. I didn't get the cancer hat. I love that one you got, Pam. I wanted that. It's the first year that I haven't got one. But then even to ask for the military, it'll be here in like another, the military games have already been going on, with them wearing the gear. Why isn't that already there? That was frustrating. I come all the way down to the stadium to get it, and it's not there. And they're like, just come back next week. I'm like, man, I flew all the way in from Maryland. It's not something you could just, well, you can order on it. That's not the point. I want the memory of being able to buy it at the team store. How hard is it? They were too worried about Taylor Swift.
Yep.
Yeah, I got my Taylor Swift memorable hat.
Is
it got poop on top?
Is it flat in the back?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
They did not have the cancer t-shirts. Like I ordered it months before the not months, but weeks before October. Probably mid
That's a Taylor
September.
Swift hat.
And they couldn't.
Thing.
They couldn't. I never did get my cancer hat or shirt. I only got the hat. I mean, it was ridiculous.
You could shake it off. Shake it off.
Shake it off, right? Yeah.
Oh God! Yo, we
Yeah.
took it
Oh,
shake
my
off.
Lord.
Right? Sorry, Tig, you gotta go.
Here we go.
I hate that song.
Yeah.
You, my brother, I love you, but that was the corniest shit ever.
I know.
It was corny, but it was funny. See, you're
It was
good.
funny. Shake Money has always got a funny one.
Listen, if I didn't mess with my brother Shake, he'd be like, something's wrong with Winter.
Oh, yes.
I had to get him. I had to get him.
Exactly.
See you now. If I ever see you at a game, I'm going to play a Taylor Swift song, "Shake It Off." For you.
Oh my God! Oh.
The only thing she shook off was her ass.
She never had one to
Is
shake.
that the only thing she shook off? I'm not so sure.
I went to Indy and the hotel in front of the one I stayed at had this huge thing going up the building, and I'm looking, going, all right, it's basically straight in the front and the back.
I'm just waiting for the next Taylor Swift CD that's about Travis Kelce, because every one of her songs is about breakup. So
it's coming. Trust me, it's coming. It's coming.
And as soon as she's gone, they're going to lose half their fandom because, it makes me mad because I love the fact of how many women and girls these days are football fans. I love it. I encourage it. Back in the day, there weren't many of us. So I love it.
Yeah, we appreciate
when I see I love it, right? So when I see these little girls and they're like, oh, Travis Kelce, and I'm like, okay, so what part of football do you like? Oh, Taylor Swift. I'm like, oh my gosh, get them away from football, because as soon as Taylor Swift is not with Travis Kelce anymore, they will not know one thing about. Teach these kids football. Don't make it be about some stupid chick who won't be around in 5 minutes. Just come on.
And then Dolphin,
teach them football.
Too, like down at the tailgating thing, Allie has been a big supporter of getting the women in there. And I love how every time I've been to a tailgate, she always does women of football, and they always get a picture of that.
You got the ladies of football. We've had Evie on the show. We've had Spirit Fingers on the show. We've had a few of those ladies on the show.
Miss Finn.
And I always advocate for the ladies to come on. Miss Finn. I mean, the list goes on and on.
All these younger women coming on, and they're bringing it on stronger than I was ever able to do, because now we have these social media things. We have all this, and they are taking advantage of it. They are football savvy. They are social media savvy, and they are bringing the love of football and the love, of course, the Miami Dolphins. And I'm so proud of them and for them. And, carry the torch.
No, but
Keep doing it.
Pamela, you should be proud of yourself, because you're part of that too.
Yes, absolutely.
You're definitely a part of that also. So include yourself with those names, because I do. I include you with all those names.
Absolutely.
All the Lady Dolphins, because you are a part of that big time.
2 out of the last 3 Dolphins fan of the year have been female.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Well, they got to have all the female women to keep us men in check. We got to have a good woman to keep everything in line. That's the truth, man. If you ain't got, I like my wife. I got a rock. She keeps me there.
You know what they say? Behind every good man is a good woman.
Absolutely.
You know what they also say? Behind every man that's confused is a woman who's mad at him, and he don't know why.
Well, you're the reason.
But she's willing to tell him.
But Ms. Pam,
That's poor Billy Carnes. He knows.
Include yourself in that too, so don't disclude.
Thank you, Mr. Polk. I appreciate that, guys. I appreciate it.
You're my sister. I got to make sure of that.
But hey, on a side note, one thing I would really like to do, I said a couple shows back, like Dolphin Winter Johnny O, and I'd love to try to get Papa Paul on the field to do the American flag. He's never got to do it. I think we need to do a push.
We're going to make that happen. We're going to make that happen next season.
What Papa Paul has done for this organization and starting this stuff here, it's something little. We gotta make it happen. What he does for his time and the charities he does for DCC, and we got to try to Sure, we can get Allie on board because she's got a lot of connections too. I'd like to see that happen for him. And that's when I first came down. Papa Paul was the main guy that got me in, and then Allie took me in too. And I just little things make people happy, and I'd love to make that happen. I'm going to keep striving for that.
Yeah, I think we could definitely make that happen.
Scotty, that's
Something,
family.
right?
Appreciate
Something-
that, man. Ali is beautiful, man. She's a beautiful soul. That
She
woman
is.
is a beautiful soul. That's exactly what she is. That woman is a giving woman. If you need help of any sort, she'll point you in the right direction. You talking about representing the Miami Dolphins just like the rest of a lot of these guys that are fan of the year. Lisa Siegel is the current 2000. We need to have to work to get her on. We need to get her on because we need to give her flowers, and we need to try to set that up ASAP. She deserves to get her flowers. We've had every fan of the year on this show, and we need to get Lisa Siegel on there because I would love to have her on the show and chat with her.
Biggie was on here before.
We've really had some beautiful fan of the years. I mean, like every one of them are just amazing, and you understand why they're fan of the year. It's not because it's small things; it's big things that they
Right.
do. And I mean, they've been amazing. And there's so many more that could be fan of the year. I can think of a few people right here, right now, that could be fan of the year.
Shake Money.
Fan of the year,
Look what Shake Money
He's
does
spoon of the year.
with the YouTube, because Shake Money's been going around to different YouTube platform and supporting and helping the best way he can. So Shake Money's in that class as well.
Hey, by the way, your former boss, Paris Love, is one I would love to see as fan of the year.
Absolutely.
Paris
Yeah.
is
Unfortunately,
sweetheart.
there is a ton of people that deserve it, and it's only one a year.
It's
Yeah.
only one a year, and Johnny, I believe you're one of those, as well as
Yeah.
Papa Paul. I mean, you guys could be that winners. I mean, you guys could all be that so easily. There's so many people that are deserving, and it is only one a year. But I like how supportive we are as a family with a PH, that
Mhm.
we support our Dolphin fan of the year. And for most people, it's not jealousy or backbiting. That does happen a little bit, but for the most part, it's not that. We're supportive of the ones that get it. But I see multiple people that could be fan of the year.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest with you, and I appreciate what you said. I appreciate you, Mr. Paul, and I'll be honest with everybody on this panel. The reward for me is being around you guys. The reward for me is every day when I do get a chance to do this. This is the reward. So from me to you guys, I'm already rewarded. You know what I'm saying? When I tell everybody give thanks to God for seeing another day, I truly mean that. So I don't just preach it on Facebook, and it's not just characters. I talk the talk and I walk the walk. So that means more to me than anything. Any award that anybody can give me, nah, this is more rewarding than anything because I get a chance to talk to you guys on almost an every other day basis. And that means more to me than any reward.
Agreed.
Yeah, and the people you get to meet, whether it's home games, away games, Zach Thomas in the Hall of Fame, it's just the people are absolutely amazing, and that's what keeps a group like this going. It's what keeps our panel going. Derek is our newcomer. I actually got to meet Derek, and when I first saw him on the show, I'm like, wait, I think I know him. And then we got to talking about what he does. I'm like, yeah, I did meet him down in Florida. But you get so many people that you get to meet and talk to from different areas of the country, different areas of the world. So, and any award that comes, and listen, anybody that gets fan of the year is well deserving. The Dolphins aren't just handing it out saying, here, take this, because they're looking for somebody. No, they do their due diligence.
They do.
Anybody that gets the award, and I don't care where they tailgate, where they're from, what city, what state, what town, that doesn't matter. It's what they do in charity work, whether it's for the Dolphins organization or somebody else. So this is the most important part. I went to MetLife this week. I got to tailgate with a bunch of people where I tailgate every year. We walked over to New York City Dolphins fan club. Went and met some Jets fans who were nice enough to give us bracelets to get in the 50 club. Never left, stayed behind the bench, watched the game from there.
Wow.
We lost. It sucked, but I still had a great weekend. I had a great Sunday. My oldest son, it was the only game he went to this year. Got to hang out with him. And it's the people.
Yeah.
Meeting Take Money for the first time, meeting Miss Pam for the first time in person after seeing them on our panel down in Florida. Those are the things that stick with you. What we do is make memories constantly. Every weekend, every week on the show. That's the most important part.
Heck, I'm still in a dream. I feel like I'm in a dream still being a part of this. I told him I got people in my own, like in my neighborhood, small town. They seen this play. You're on with these real prominent Dolphin people. I'm like, yeah, this. I said I'm in a dream, and I'm still trying to wake up from it. Like,
Well,
It's awesome. It is awesome. And you know what you were saying, John? It's being carried on because I could tell you, Wyatt and Walker, you met my grandsons at the Arizona game. And the thing they said to me, they looked at me and they were so disappointed we lost, but they looked at me and they said, I'm really sad we lost, but Mimi, this was the most fun I've ever had. And so for those boys to be with me, and I'm telling you, y'all know I'm loud. I'm super loud at a game. And those kids were as loud as me. They were screaming and yelling. And I mean, it is so awesome. So this is a third generation carrying down of Dolphin fans and the love of the game, the love of the team, and the love of the people that we meet. It is the best part. Absolutely the best part.
Oh, if it wasn't for the people, I wouldn't be going into my fourth year of having a season ticket. If I went down there 5 years ago in 2019 and it absolutely sucked and the people sucked, I wouldn't have got season tickets. So, I mean, it's the people that make it. It's the people like Papa Paul who come up with an idea who say, I want to do a show that's like this, where we just have an open panel. We agree to disagree. We talk about things. We enjoy it. It's people like Shake Money who has different shows and different guests and does different things for the fan to see. It's people like yourself, Pam, who is a female in a predominantly male world, but jumps right in and says what she's got to say and tells you her opinion and gives you her point of view. It's the people like Mr. Polk who have been around since day one. And then you got Derek, who's brand new, but he's here now every show. He found it, he loves it, and he's here.
like I'm even upward in my family, and my wife's like, we're moving to Florida for the Dolphins. And then now she's seen me doing this podcast and how big the family is. She's like, I see why you're so addicted and you want to uprate the whole family. And then the boy getting a scholarship and everything, it's all going for a reason. It's reason. So it's great.
Right.
Amazing.
And then with me, because of my situation where I can't really come to the games, just getting on these platforms, the different platforms, makes it more enjoyable for me to be a Dolphin fan without really going to the game. And then I'm gonna say this again. I know Shake may get tired of me saying this because I said this on platforms before. If you really think back, with me, when I think back to my childhood and being a Miami Dolphin fan, like I said, the only time I get to find out about my team was watching the news or seeing the little section in the sports section of the Miami Herald.
Yes.
But to see how things are today, man, I am just so overwhelmed with how with our fan base, and then to think about when you see our fan base in Mexico and other countries, and our fan base is just growing and growing and growing. It makes me feel so good to be a part of it. And all you guys contribute to that in your own way, shape, form. Dolphin winners, you know what I'm talking about because you got the 305 administrators and also some other ones that you've been dealing with, and you've been doing a terrific job. And I'm gonna say this, Dolphin winners, you might be a little. It was one time Dolphin winners thought about leaving the 305 thing, and I had got prepared. So I said, man, we gotta keep Dolphin winners. We gotta keep. Because
I did resign, and it wasn't for any type of personal reasons. I just really felt I've been doing it for 8 years, and it was basically a part of my life that I really felt that I should just leave behind and concentrate more on the podcast and even future podcasts with Shake or future podcasts with whoever I do a podcast with. And I really feel like that's that's still there, and I visited here and there, but I'd rather do more dedication to the show, and I want to talk to Shake probably off the camera, maybe updating our opening and do different things. We're going on 2 years, and that's a beautiful and great achievement, and I'm so happy to be able to do it with these ladies and gentlemen that's on this panel. Like, I feel like if any type of award ever comes in my direction or anything like that, it's just something that just came along and I'm blessed to have. And I always tell people, I've always don't look for rewards. I let them come to me. They always say,
Yeah.
good things come to those who wait. And I've always lived by certain sayings and live by certain ways. And with that being said, that this means more to me. Spending time with you guys and ladies means more to me to anything. Like, I look forward to coming in here with Papa Paul and Johnny O and Paul, Mr. Paul and Shake and Miss Pam and you, Derek, now, and welcome to the family. You
Welcome,
know,
Derek.
I appreciate this. This helps me more than what y'all really have no idea. So this is therapeutic to me. That's why I kind of set the precedence where it's like, we can agree to disagree, but I don't want none of that crazy shit. I don't want to be screaming. I don't want to be hollering. I can't do it. That's what Shake Money and the Defense Tailgate is for.
Oh, bullshit.
So, but real shit, I love that it's platforms like that for Dolphin fans to be able to go on, to be able to sit there and release their anger and stress or whatever. You need platforms like that, even if you don't like it or not. You need different type of formats and different type of platforms or different type of levels of anxiety and just peacefulness. Or you want to be wild for the night, then you got Finn's Tailgate. You have different other podcasters that does different things, and I support each and every one of them, good, bad, or indifferent. I support you all, because it's not easy.
Something for everybody.
It's something for everybody.
I go and whenever I get a chance, I go to any of them that's on YouTube at the time live, and even if they, how should I put it, even if they don't have the same philosophy about Miami Dolphins as I do, I still go and hit that like button and support them, because like I said, I know what it was not to have all this. So I support, just like you said, Dolphin one, I support all of it. I support all of it.
Yeah, Mr. Bulk, I live in New Jersey, and in the 90s, I had a subscription to the Miami Herald. So it showed up 2 or 3 days late every day, but I could get my box scores and I could read the stuff, and hopefully you got to read most of it before the next game on Sunday. But I had a subscription to the Miami Herald.
That's amazing, John. I got to shout out to Hooked Up Joe. And
Joe hasn't been around for a while. Where's Joe been?
By the way, Pam, I want to thank you. I want to personally thank you, because you're the reason I watched a lot of the Dolphin games, away games, because because of your Discord, and I appreciate that.
You know that I love that, and you're so welcome. And I was just gonna bring up about Joe, because this was my 13th season, and I just realized it was 13. I'll tell you, Nene helped me remember, because I knew it was over 10 years, but I didn't want to overstate it, but it was 13 years this year. And if not for Joe, because, my way of streaming the games all these years was being taken down. They took me down over and over, and I changed what I was doing over and over, but I didn't have the technology skills to figure out how to do it. And Joe has helped me figure it out. And now we have every Dolphin game every week. The stream is there. And I mean, if not for him, I would have figured out something. I don't know. It would have been smoke signals or something. I don't know. But Joe.
But that's where
Joe made it happen, and he helped me so much.
Of family.
Yep.
That's where it comes from, being such a wide variety of a family.
It is, right?
So all know somebody who knows a little something that we can't do that can help us out in one way or another.
Yep.
Yeah,
and it was great, because that's how I met him, was, on these podcasts and stuff like that. And Joe was, just amazing. He figured it out. We have our own, what do you call it? We have our own, what do you call it? What do we have, Joe? We have our own. our,
You're gonna make
I
Joe
can't even
jump on
think
here
of
at the last
Let's-
minute.
Let's use. Can we use the
Streaming
word
server.
project?
No, it's a
Server.
You have your own streaming
server.
server.
We have our own server. Yes,
Okay.
we have our own
in the
server.
cloud.
So he set that up and he's worked on it and added all the chat, which is, I always had that before, but it took a while. Like he built it up and now we're up and running and
Yeah,
hopefully
I just want. I'm like, damn. I'm on a stream and I realized that, damn.
And guys, I have a way. I have a little box that I can stream all the local channels in the country and everything. If anybody needs a way to help find a way to get the Dolphins game, I can show you guys how to get this box. I don't make any money off of it or anything.
All right.
I'm able to stream every game. You know what I mean? Even the ones I can click on this little box on the local channel, start to West Miami, and I have it. So if anybody wants that link, I know a guy that sells these things, and you don't even need cable anymore. It's like a Fire Stick
Wow.
type thing, but I have the hook up to get that taken care of. I have it down here in the man cave. I can watch everything, and it's not.
Well, so I had every game. I paid for them. I paid the NFL ticket. Like I did everything to get the games. I was streaming the games for other people around the world, not just in the country, but around the world. I had multiple people from the service, whether it was Korea or whether it was Saudi Arabia, whether they were in Australia or England or wherever, and all throughout the country. So I was streaming the games for other people to watch, including some people on our panel right here would get the away games and things from my stream. So I had the game, but the way I used to do it was on Facebook, and I would use Facebook Live, and I would go in there. But this season, they started shutting me down. And thanks to Joe, he helped me figure out how to get that out to the fans, because some people don't have TV at all. They don't, or they're at work, or they're traveling, or different things, and they would get the stream and they could see the game, but if they weren't able to watch the screen or something, they could tell from my screaming on the streaming.
Well,
What was going on?
Well, Miss Pamela, here's one thing about when you had that going. I would actually turn my TV off just to watch you do the Miami Dolphin games.
It's a a taste, right? Like, it's some people like it, some people don't. Some people come on my stream and tell her to shut up. I'm like, mute me,
You're
man.
on the wrong stream for that. If you
You're in the
jump on
wrong
Miss Pam's stream, you better be able to just shut up and listen and watch the game. She'll tell you what's going on, but in her own way.
In my
And let
own
me tell
way.
you, it's more entertaining than most of the damn talking heads on TV. So put your TV on if you want. Mute it. Listen to Miss Pam, and it's a whole lot better every game.
Also, Miss Pam, if you do need a moderator in the future, you can count on me.
Thank you very much. And of course, we love you. So Joe's going to set it up so we can have like, guest commentators. And he said we color commentary. I'm pretty sure I'm the color. I'm not necessarily calling the plays, but I'm definitely the color. But so we will want some, guest people on. So we're inviting you now.
Right. Well, hey guys, I got to jump off here. My phone's about to die and everything. Work comes early tomorrow. I got some more customers that need to be served. I got.
Well, as of now, we are no longer doing shows on Saturday nights.
Okay.
Mondays and Wednesdays. That's it. Sunday morning 9 a.m. Monday afternoon at 5 p.m. and Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. all Eastern Standard Time.
Monday.
It's nice to meet you, Derek.
Yeah, I can't wait to meet you down. We're going to get together. Like I said, I'm moving to Jacksonville here in June, so we're coming down here in 3 weeks to get ready to look at some houses, get ready to buy something. So I'm excited, and excited for that warm weather. It's 18 degrees outside, and I'm ready to.
But good for you, Derek. That's
All
good
right,
to hear.
Derek. Peace, love, and fins up, brother.
He's loving fence up.
Yeah, we've been on for over 2 hours, guys and ladies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know,
it's time to wrap it up. It's been fun, man.
It's
I'd
like
say
20
this
something
is
degrees in Florida soon.
What's that, Shake?
It's gonna be like 20 something degrees in Florida soon.
boo-hoo.
It's cold.
Boo-hoo.
It's cold, man.
Already
So
cold.
you're getting a taste of what we have outside.
Dolphin
I'm
Dude,
not
really
we're
is
crying.
cold
I'm not crying.
down
I'm
here.
excited.
Look,
Listen.
we're about to get 50. We're about to get. I know I'm about to get 50-mile-an-hour winds tomorrow,
Yeah.
and it's gonna.
Snow on Saturday. It's not going to be above 35 until God knows when.
Well,
And
And you
better
guys will
you
be
than
in the
me.
80s.
Listen,
And you guys will be in the
But-
80s next
y'all need to
week.
stop
Y'all be in the
bragging.
80s next week.
No,
Y'all
we
need to stop
actually
bragging
we
because you're
won't.
lucky.
It's
We're not.
shocking. We
You're-
normally
we won't-
would
we-
be.
Your iguanas will defrost by next week.
They'll
No,
get
they
little
won't.
jackets.
I had a feeling
Little
somebody
dolphin
was gonna say
jackets.
something about the iguanas. I knew that was coming.
Iguana popsicles taste delicious.
Yeah, well, we're not going to see weather that will defrost an iguana in probably like 3 months. So
Facts. I think
Yeah,
we're actually having
like
an actual
Hooked Up Joe-
winter up here.
Like
Yeah.
Hooked Up Joe says, it's cold enough for socks and long pants now down here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then up there we all at, I guess it's cold enough that you can store ham in your barbecue grill outside. Huh?
Brother, I got cases of waters in my garage, and it's actually like an actual new refrigerator, like in my
Right.
garage for the waters. So
I don't
it's cold.
I don't have to put my beer in the refrigerator. I walk downstairs to the garage, take one out of the case. It's cold enough to drink.
There you
Right.
go.
Put your vodka outside.
I want y'all to know this.
Oh.
I will never, I don't care if I gets to 19, I will never complain this time of year. The time I complain is in August and September when my nuts are sticking to my legs.
Me too, Stick Money. Me too.
Buy better boxers.
I'm gonna throw out before we call it a night. I'm gonna throw out save the date, April 19th, my third annual pre-draft Earth Day birthday celebration. So, say April 19th.
April 19th.
That's right. It's a Saturday, 2 p.m. until whenever.
All
We
right.
also have a cornhole tournament.
I don't know if I want to do that.
What tournament?
Cornhole.
Cornhole.
Oh,
Julio.
I'm not going.
I
I'm not
make
going to ask.
TV for you in my
I'm not
I
jungle.
know what it is. I'm just joking.
No, I'm just
Yeah,
pleading the fifth.
get your mind out of the gutter, Miss Pam.
Hey, we're going to Julio.
Cornholio.
Oh, sucks.
Okay, thank you everybody for joining us. Wonderful night tonight. Appreciate each and every one of y'all. Peace, love, and fins up, everybody.
Peace, love, fins up.
Peace, love, and fins up.
See y'all on Sunday.